Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Bombs Away. We're coming at you with another live show, and this time, you'll sweat blood. The podcast that brought you Miami Connection Live is returning to the stage this Halloween to take on the most unintentionally hilarious horror movie of the 80s, Death Spa. Join us on October 25th at the Frida Cinema as we have the theater's first Halloween costume party, screen the movie, and then rip on it all in one live event. Smoothie juice bars, photo opportunities, drinking games, and so much more. This movie is crazy! Possessed workout equipment, flying shower towels, and an insanely funny ending. For tickets and more information, go to thefridacinema.org/events/bombsawaylive. That's thefridacinema.org/events/bombsawaylive. Join us at Death Spa. It's a killer workout. Hey, guess what?
What?
I got no tagline.
Oh, that was the start. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow. Right out
Here
the bat.
we are.
We take a week off.
Yeah.
And then just things go. You don't remember that you started.
I don't. I did. I was like, yeah, started off. Hey, guess what?
Yeah, I got no taglines. I have no budget. So you want to make up a tagline that isn't the obvious one?
The Boogedy man is gonna get you.
You do believe in the Boogedy man,
Right.
I would just
I
say,
sneezed into tissues and it's covered in Boogedy. That's just a wordplay. That doesn't really work at all.
Mr. Boogedy. Just kidding.
God.
With one sneezing ghost, one pop-up book flashback, one self-playing piano, one dancing mummy, one pair of disembodied clapping gloves, one pink ghost, one green ghost, one blue ghost, one electric ghost, one Emperor Palpatine ghost, one inflatable fireplace shovel, and one Force Lightning electrocution? With a 7.5 on IMDb, no doubt a lot of nostalgic people who have not seen this since. It's Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color presents 1986's Mr. Boogedy. Let's drop some bombs.
Look here, Boogedy, don't you think this haunting business has gone far enough? Boogedy! Boogedy!
I have a son your age. He's unusual.
Do you think he's really all that bad? He'd try it. I am sure that he'd try it. Would you like to come in or have a cup of coffee? Is it something about coffee, dear? Something that's painful for ghosts about coffee?
Just kidding.
Whatever you do, I want you to keep an eye out for the Boogedy Man.
Boogedy! Boo!
Welcome to Bombs Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
The laugh that makes you think you've got a problem in your throat. Jared Seifert.
Oh, jeez. Is that the mom?
Yeah, the laugh is always... I'm like, oh, is she okay?
That was really good. But you also sounded like the laugh from Revenge of the Nerds.
That's
it's
one I've never
exactly the
seen.
same.
Yeah.
It's
I did for a while. Like I hung out with a friend that was always like, and then we like both adopted that laugh, and now I think we've both grown out of that laugh.
Okay.
But that mom, every time she was like, and
Yeah.
I thought something was wrong with the like. I thought she swallowed a joke toy, and it has just been in her throat
Oh, a
since.
squeak toy?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I like her. Okay, in the movie. But
I like the daughter. She's sensible.
Okay, so we'll get into the entire cast of characters in a second. First, I just wanted to start off. I know people heard the commercial, but if you're hearing this week is Death Spa. So if you're in the Southern California area and you have nothing to do, or no, that sounds like it's like, oh, you got nothing to do, then you should come. No, you should come because this is going to be
Sounds
amazing.
like me on a Friday night.
I know, right?
Got nothing to do, so I just.
It's going to be wild. I mean, it's the movie Death Spa from 1989, which is absolutely probably, like, I guarantee they were trying to be scary on purpose, and it failed horribly.
Oh, good.
And it's hilarious because of that. Exploding heads, exploding hands, like just insane things. There's a frozen barracuda that comes to life and flies off a shelf and kills somebody. Like, I don't care if it's spoiler alert. It's 30 years old, guys. Like, and it still does not disappoint if I tell you that. Like, you still don't know what you're in store for. Okay?
Do we ever on this podcast, though?
No.
Okay.
So,
just
come on out. Have a great time with us. It's the movie. It's us live. If you were at the Miami Connection show, you know how much fun this was. And we have an entire Halloween costume party set up in the lobby that will then carry over into the theater. Please join us. Tickets are $15, but you get so much for that $15, including we're upping the ante, and we've got 2 photo locations, and we have an entire alcoholic slushy bar that we have come and created, and it has black vodka lemonade slushy. Like, it's delicious. So all these things for $15 at the Frida Cinema, October 25th. Death Spa. Please join us. Tickets are still available at thefridacinema.org/events/bombsawaylive. All right? Great. Moving on.
Okay. What?
The Wonderful World
of Disney.
Of Color. By Walt Disney.
Yes.
Or he wasn't even around for this show.
Oh, no.
Because I don't think this would have happened.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know.
Could have. Okay, so he liked the spooky, but
True.
It had to be good for the whole family. I don't know if he would have liked the cheap gags.
Yeah.
Because he wanted it to be special and different and to make people be like, whoa, that's new.
Mm-hmm.
And if the lightning was new at that time, it probably been a cool effect, I guess, but
it wasn't because
instead this movie quality was so poor that it looked like their eyes were constantly blown out pupils. It was so scary. That was the scariest part. Was like they all did too much blow.
Well, the lightning is I know we're jumping ahead, but anybody who's seen this movie just knows that Mr. Boogedy himself, by the end, is just an Emperor Palpatine ripoff from the end of Return of the Jedi, down to the lightning effects coming out of his fingers, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Ugh, stupid
Skywalker.
So it's what do we? Where do we start? What's the first scene?
Well, the first scene is there is a bread van that is also pulling behind it. It's a bread van that's painted with a Volkswagen Beetle on the side of it, and on the back of it, like the back end, it looks like a 3D representation of a Volkswagen Beetle from all angles, right, if you looked at it, right? And it's got comical faces coming out of the windows of it. But then the bread van is also pulling behind it an actual red Volkswagen Beetle. Like, I'm like... extremely confused, okay? Because... what we have here is the Davis family. And the Davis family is moving into a New England town, a fictional New England town called Lucifer Falls. And they...
do you hate that trope in scary movies?
What?
Where it's like, this town is called Bloodbaths. And you're like, anything bad ever happened here? Yeah, like...
yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Death in 3 days. Like, what?
Possession Palisades.
Yeah.
Like, what? Huh? And people actually live there.
Oh, it's a cute little town. It's really quiet. Nothing has happened since 1855 when this one guy murdered everyone, but he said a curse. It didn't actually take effect yet.
Yeah.
Like, what, yet? Yeah, it's fine. He said 100 years. It's only been 98.
Yeah, right?
Like, shit, God. Why do people live in these places?
Satan's Seaside. Yeah. Lucifer Falls. Like,
did he ever get back up?
These are
the jokes, people.
Well, they're about as good as what's in
this
movie.
It really is.
So.
I've never hated a family more.
They're all, well, the boys are redeemable, but they are trying to be their father so hard that you hate them.
If I was a child in that family, I would have been like, you have 10 seconds to not make a joke.
Right?
I would have snapped.
We're going to play the goddamn quiet game.
Yeah. Don't hear me, a fucking flower. Don't make me look at something. It's going to shoot water in my face.
Why does okay, so hold.
So the family comes to this house.
The family is they're not the owners, but they are now trying to establish a new store within a franchise called Gag City. It's like Halloween Club here in California, right? Where Halloween Club is a 365 Halloween store that we have here in Southern California.
Yeah.
But it's real shady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's just like, everything is always like 50% off, and there's just like junk all over the place and gags and gimmicks, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can find there, but it feels like that, right? It's like Gag City is this really shitty place in which you can continually keep getting like, I don't know, fake vomit, rubber eggs that also shoot water out of them. Pretty much anything you want that can shoot water out of it.
And yet the saddest thing is this family never even used a whoopee cushion.
That's true. Well, fart jokes, no, that's not acceptable on the wonderful world of color.
They did it in Lion King. It was the first animated movie that featured a fart.
Aww.
And it was great.
No worries, guys. No worries.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, that's what this family basically is coming to Lucifer Falls for. They're establishing their own store within the franchise.
A gag store.
Yeah, called Gag
and it's like
City.
In a like quiet little New England town where it's like no one here, like
it's just Main
set
Street
it up
USA.
In a mall.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Literally any store that shut down, you know, just like a Spirit Halloween store just pops up.
Go take over that, lightly cover all their weird art with posters, and then put your weird banner over, like, the letters that you can still see outlined because of rain.
Yeah.
Like,
set up a bunch of black, like, grid wrecks, and then duvetine over the backs of those, instead of use the actual walls that were established.
Put up some pipe and bass for the back of your store.
Almost as if, like, Spirit Halloween stores didn't actually buy the whole store.
I know.
They only rented half of it.
Well, it's like they only rented the actual store floor. They didn't rent the storage in the back.
Yeah.
So they put up that curtains. It's like, what?
That's extra. Well, that's how it is. There's a Sears that closed down the street from me, and it's the exact same thing. They rented the top floor, but only the top half floor. So there's still a floor and a half of just emptiness that I'm like, somebody do something.
Yeah.
Right?
Jesus.
But,
Jesus.
yeah, that's how I can imagine this would go down, too. Like, how many shelves can Gag City fill, really?
Yeah.
You know? But then again, that Halloween Club on the 5 is huge. So
it's decently sized.
It's like warehouse sized. It has like at least 20 aisles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it does have a back area.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this family moves in and immediately they're like, what the heck, Dad?
Right. So the dad is played by Richard Masur, who is most famously from like The Thing. He was like the dog wrangler in that. And he was also in Risky Business. He was the guy who interviewed Tom Cruise while he was having the prostitute party. And My Girl. Remember My Girl with Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis?
No.
Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Say
bee
Macaulay
stings.
Culkin and bees. That's what everyone knows about My Girl.
Right.
No one knows
Well,
Dan
he was
Aykroyd's in it.
He was like Uncle Phil. He was like either the hearse driver or like something within the mortuary. And then he was the dad in License to Drive. So that's a picture of Richard Masur. Then you have Mimi Kennedy. Richard Masur is the dad. He's playing Carlton, right? I just want to get these names right because they're all weird except for the daughter.
Jennifer.
Yeah. And then we have Mimi Kennedy, who's playing Eloise, right? That's the mom. Now, Kristy Swanson from Dude, Where's My Car? Kristy Boner.
Yeah.
She was Buffy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was the mannequin in Mannequin 2 on the Move.
Uh-oh.
We'll do that eventually.
Yes.
And she was also in Ferris Bueller in one scene, in the Bueller scene, where she explains what happened to Ferris.
Oh, is that the person that's like, I heard from so-and-so that so-and-so said this? Yeah.
Yeah. That's Kristy Swanson.
Best gag.
Like, oh, and the chase. Remember the chase? Where Charlie Sheen kidnaps her and steals her BMW, and then they're like driving down towards the border. They're basically driving down the 5 the whole time, and they're being chased. It's the chase. Like, you don't remember the chase?
No.
And Red Hot Chili Peppers are in one scene as trying to be vigilantes.
Nope.
And yeah.
Not on my radar.
That's a great movie. And then they fall in love while they're on the drive. Spoiler. But
wouldn't expect that to happen from the movie.
Right. Well, he's innocent.
Yeah.
You know? Because he held up her and like he put what she thought was a gun to his back, but it's actually a candy bar, and that's how it all starts off, right? Either way,
we're not talking about that movie.
We're not talking about the chase, even though I love the chase. But that's Kristy Swanson. She plays Jennifer Davis, the daughter. And then David Faustino, who is most famously Bud from Married with Children. And then Joshua Rudoy, he plays the youngest son, Ari. David Faustino is Corwin.
Yeah.
And Joshua is Ari. And he, other than this, what I know him from, he's the son in Harry and the Hendersons. Mm-hmm. And then the Vengeful Ghost in the original Flatliners.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's your family, okay? Carlton the dad, Eloise the mom, Jennifer the oldest daughter, Corwin the middle son, and then Ari the youngest.
It's literally just going to be mom, dad, youngest son, middle son.
Probably, but I
Jennifer.
In my notes, I referred to them at her name sometimes, depending on what was going on.
We'll see if we get it.
So we got that, right? So they show up, and they immediately show up at a house that seems to always, if it's nighttime out, it's also always covered in lightning and thunder.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Naturally.
Lucifer Falls is lightning and thunder, just naturally, all night. Like, they don't even get affected or fazed by it.
Yeah.
Ever. Nobody's just like, oh, shit.
It'd be great to fall asleep to that.
Right? That one was close.
Yeah.
You know, like none of that. Nothing. They just, okay, here we are.
Sweet, cool.
Right? You got this, like, moaning soundtrack throughout the whole movie that just, like, seems to be played on a theremin. Just like, and then they just walk up, and he's like, isn't it great? Yeah.
Like, so oblivious, like every white family in every horror movie ever. Like,
Right.
I got it super cheap. It's so cool. We just got to dust it.
Yeah. Well, he is. The other 4 of them are just like, what the fuck? Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's great. Right? He is so annoying.
Oh, he's the worst thing in the entire world.
Both movies. Like, extremely annoying. Completely, for some reason... that's never really explained, like, in full denial, even when he sees things with his own eyes.
Yeah.
Right? And then is just absolutely annoying and kind of an asshole to his whole family.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the whole time.
Even when they're like, Dad, can you be serious? And he's like, what? And it's like, well, you're making a joke every second of every single day. And, like,
And then has a catchphrase... Just kidding.
Just kidding. Like, I literally, if I was a child in that family, I would not have made it past 7.
I would have ran
I would
away.
have killed myself or one of them. I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, you know what? He asked for it.
Yeah, but so both sons are emulating and they look up to their father because they're all wearing...
What is there to look up to?
I don't know. But they all kind of want to be jokesters, pranksters, and they're all wearing the same Gag City jackets that their dad wears.
Ugh.
Right? Which is just a tan like members only jacket with Gag City on the back of it as their logo. So they come in and they're fishing around for a light switch, and Eloise is like, I think I found it. And I'm like, when's the last time you held a lamp? Because it's clearly a skull.
Yeah.
it's
I found it, and it's just the skull.
It's just a skull, right? I mean,
she's got some messed up lamps.
It has a cord running out of it, so she, I guess, traced the cord back is the joke.
Yeah.
But then like picked it up.
But you don't see that at all, so it's just like
I saw the cord coming out, right? Because
I mean, like you don't see her trace the cord,
right? We as an audience can see the skull before she lights the match, right? But also, it's just like, who? I mean, that sounded weird. I was gonna say, who hasn't held a skull before? But true though,
it's pretty
right?
normal.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you at least have seen a skull, probably held a fake skull. Like,
yeah.
You know, especially in Gag City, they probably have a skull.
Oh yeah.
Right? And she's like, they light a match, and then she screams, and then boom, there's Mr. Whetherspoon, the realtor.
That is also like what, Dracula? It's weird.
It's John Astin from who was the original Gomez Addams in the Addams Family show, right? Has just showed up to do like a supporting role in this nonsense film, right? He's in the shadows in a top hat and like a cape, but it's got like a pop-up collar, so it's like just like Dracula, like you said, right? And he's just waiting for them in the shadows.
He's doing something.
What I don't understand is, okay, so
probably masturbating.
He's the.
Let's be real. He's like, oh, they're here. Put my dick away.
Right, but then immediately, like, goes to Jennifer and goes, like, first things out of his mouth. I have a son, your age. He's unusual. And then spins the nose of the skull and turns on every light in the house.
I know, but also. Scratch the thing about the son because you'll never meet that child. Not even in the sequel.
I think he's insane, and I think Mr. Witherspoon. I think his whole deal is like if I had to figure it out, I think because he immediately is like, "I'm warning you, you should get out." I'm like, "Aren't you the realtor?"
And I was like, "Why don't you just sell him a different house, dipshit?"
Well, he only had this one.
Yeah.
You know? And I think his deal is he sells it to you, then immediately warns you so that you get out and he can flip the house.
It's a pretty bad realtor. I mean, like, it's a good plan, but also, like,
right?
I feel like they should know that before they sign the paperwork.
Because he just goes, "This is haunted. Get out where you can." And then just goes, "Boogedy! Boogedy! Boo!" And then leaves. And in which Carlton is like, "All right, bye." Like, nobody really addresses things as they should. They're like, "That Weatherspoon." You're like, "No."
What?
Yeah. So they all kind of explore the house on their own. The boys hear sneezing coming from like the basement.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, right? It's just a dusty old house.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer goes upstairs to kind of scout out what her room would be, and she sees like a glowy green light.
Yeah.
Or no, she hears the sneezing upstairs.
Yeah.
The boys are down in the basement.
Oh, they meet the ghost boy, Jonathan.
They don't meet him yet.
Oh.
Yeah. But
like his
they
bear
have a teddy
disappears.
bear,
Yeah.
and they put it in this rocking chair, and then they turn around, and the dad's
The first
like,
movie,
"Let's
Jonathan,
go."
I also didn't like. The second movie, Jonathan, is better.
Yeah, because he's there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but in the first one, he has this obnoxious speech impediment where he's like, "Mr. Boogedy was very bad to us." I'm like, shut up. You shouldn't have that.
Sounds like you're doing an impression of someone we know. So, no, we'll get to Jonathan the ghost. We'll get to Maid Marian the ghost. What a stupid name. And
This whole thing is a stupid movie. I'm so uncomfortable in this chair today.
Oh, sorry. So,
recording studio secrets. I sit in a terrible chair.
And then the movie moves on, right? Movie. It's 45 minutes, guys. We're probably going to take longer than the movie did.
Well, yeah, we're at 20.
Okay. So, the next morning, Jennifer is kind of like, I heard sneezing and stuff, and and nobody's paying attention to her because, and I wrote here, as this whole thing plays out, because they're like trying to get Jennifer to eat rubber eggs, and then there's like other jokes. There's like a string attached to a toaster that somehow played exactly into a story that Carlton never knew that Jennifer was going to tell about a haunting.
Yeah.
Like, he already had set up a string attached to a toaster so that when she's like, I swear it is haunted, he's like, I swear this house is not haunted. Cue string pull to toaster. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, he has gags set up in preparation for things he doesn't even know what's going to happen. Right? And this is where I just wrote down, I hate Gag City.
Oh, I hate it. I would never... Have you... Okay. Do you watch Hulu? Do you have Hulu?
No, I don't.
Okay. Anywho, hold on, I'm playing chopstick. My lips are a little dry. Anywho.
It's a real behind the scenes today, folks.
I know. Behind the Microphone, the new podcast, starring Jarrett Seifert, interviewing other podcasts.
You sound like NPR.
What they do behind their microphones. I know. It's my NPR voice. But I forgot what I was going to say.
I said I hate Gag City.
Oh, okay. So there's a commercial. It's like Bob's Furniture. And the commercial for it is this,
is it like a local commercial?
I don't know, but like I tweeted about it, and someone else on the other side of the planet was like, "I'm never going there either," because the guy, it's like a creepy doll, like the Puppet Master dolls, is like what this guy looks like, and he's like, "Come down to Bob's Furniture, and you could get some furniture," and it looks so creepy that I was like, "I'm never going there." I am never going to go to that. Oh my
God, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Not that commercial, but that feeling, right? Because there's I
hate it so much that I'm never going to that store.
It's a commercial. I know. Sorry, everybody else not in California. It's a local commercial on the radio that's like, "You're killing me, Larry."
Oh, I hate that man.
Yeah.
I am never going to Larry's stores.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even know what they sell because I'm just so overly annoyed by the whole thing. Being like, I can't believe you're doing this to the savings. You're killing me, Larry. Like, it's awful. But I feel like this is in the same level as whatever this Gag City is.
That's okay. I feel like everyone in that family is that obnoxious commercial except for Jennifer. And poor Jennifer's just like, no, I'm trying to tell you it's haunted. And they're like, rubber vomit. No, I'm trying to tell you it's haunted. Do you want an egg?
But also Carlton, that's what I mean about, like, and we'll get into, like, there's going to be multiple examples as we go through here of he's just an asshole who makes fun of his own family continuously, right? Because now it's nighttime. And Jennifer...
We immediately skipped from breakfast back to nighttime.
Right. And Jennifer hears something, goes out in the hall, investigates the glowing door down at the end of the hallway, opens it up. There's a big flash of green light, but we're seeing it from her, like her face, so we don't see what she saw. And then immediately it fades to, like, Eloise in her face, like, doing a Wizard of Oz joke. There's a lot in both of these films Wizard of Oz references. As if they're like, it's not really public domain, but yeah, sure, cool.
You know what
we have a good relationship with MGM.
You know what this movie reminded me of?
What?
Like the really, really shitty first take of Beetlejuice. Or someone that overheard the idea of Beetlejuice and was like, I could make it better and steal it first.
That's
and then
funny.
They tried and they were like, you know, we're not Tim.
Right?
We are not Tim.
Beetlejuice was before this.
Was
right?
it?
Or same year.
I thought it was like same or after. Because wasn't this 87?
This was 86.
86. Wasn't Beetlejuice 89? We were talking about this the other day at work. Me and
no,
else.
It's definitely not as late as 80. It's 88. It's
88,
this is the 30th right now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So actually Boogedy came before both Beetlejuices. So in like and I was gonna say it's a Beetlejuice ripoff in the second movie when they do the whole door thing we'll get to. But it seems like maybe Beetlejuice maybe Tim Burton was watching The Wonderful World of
and
Color
he was like,
this
is shit. I can do it so much better. It was like it's so good. Oh, now I want to watch that. Okay, anyway, back to the bad movie. Do this for too long. We haven't had a good Beetlejuice reference in a while. Yeah. Hair down to his goddamn shoulders. It was like, what's one we haven't ever said before? Oh, man. Okay, yeah. So the mom starts trying to wake her up with her Wizard of Oz reference.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I swear he was in there. So then they go and they look in the room, and there's green, like, footprints going up the wall for some reason.
Yeah, so anybody who has ever seen like the blood Klingons, like they're like jelly kind of blood Klingons that you go buy for your window on Halloween or something. Not the flat ones Klingons, but they'd be a squishy or whatever. That's what these are, but they're like green, like complete shoe prints.
Well, they're not shoe prints. They're the shape of a shoe print. Like what you would see on the ground where it's like, follow this path, and it's just like the outline of what would be a shoe, but filled in completely.
Right. Yeah,
and then,
because
so
you
dad,
would have a heel, especially with the pilgrim's
right?
shoe.
That would be looking like a high heel.
Right.
But so the dad's like, oh my God, these are hilarious. And for some
Once
reason
again,
starts
making fun of his
sticking them
daughter.
on himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, we could sell these at the store. And it's like, you don't know what they're made of.
Right.
You don't know how they got there. How are you going to sell them? Are you going to sell all 5 of them? How much are you going to sell them for each? Once they're done, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Huh?
When you get this actually analyzed, and they're like, sir, it's seems to be made of ectoplasm.
Yeah.
I could sell that. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Can't you guys make ectoplasm?
Look like the Boogedy Man. I'm an asshole.
I hate this man.
He is, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
He takes it off the wall, sticks it all onto him, and then is like, "Oh no! Looks like the Boogedy Man walked all over me."
And the daughter's like, "Dad, fuck you." Like, I'm surprised Jennifer didn't do that thing.
Oh God, I can't wait to get into better movies.
Yeah, one of the very few episodes.
I can't wait to not return for the sequel.
Can't wait to drop out so someone can take my place. But, like, one of the better episodes of The Simpsons that, like, because I didn't watch a lot, but I remember, like, a handful of, like, the good ones.
I remember anything from Conan O'Brien era I can remember, because that's all I watched.
Do you remember when Bart, like, emancipated himself from Homer or whatever?
No.
Like, he got Homer to sign a document saying that he, like, no longer had legal guardianship.
Okay.
So he, like, became his own person. And I was like, Jennifer's going to do that in 5 seconds. She's going to run away and be like, you know what? Sign the papers. I'm calling the child services.
Okay, but also, why is Boogedy the ghost, right? Why is Boogedy metaphysicalizing, like
manifesting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're right. Why is he manifesting and then just walking sideways up walls?
Did he even walk sideways in the movie, or was it just that his footprints were there?
His footprints were there.
Then why even do it?
Is he like,
so
he's got like shoes on his hands and he's like, oh, this is going to be a good trip.
Got him.
Right. Is he Beetlejuicing it?
I don't know.
Right? Like first he's just showing like evidence like that, cuz like then after that the 2 boys it's the next morning and they're in the kitchen, and that's when that same toaster that was a gag before just immediately like overheats, and then the faucet goes off, and then the cabinets are rattling, and the teapot on the kettle, and then there's just a laugh like and I'm like, oh shit, because he does want them out of their house.
Yeah. So
he's like Beetlejuice gagging it at first, right? Toy your faces right off, huh? Parlor tricks.
Fool your friends, throw your voice.
You're right.
Right.
So then the 3 children go to the Historical Society, where John Astin is there.
Yeah.
Just passed out on the counter.
Yeah.
Right? And then they go, Mr. Whetherspoon, what are you doing here? And he goes, what am I doing here? What am I
So he's an alcoholic.
He's
a drunk. Okay.
Right? I don't think, because he goes, oh, I work here. Right? I don't think he does.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah.
So then the kids are like, can you tell us about the history of the house? And he has a pop-up book dedicated solely to that house.
Oh, no. He has a pop-up book dedicated to the myth of Boogedy.
Oh, yeah,
or
that's
the
right.
legend of Boogedy.
Yeah.
But who made this pop-up? The town?
Probably him. Knowing
A
him, he
drunken
probably got
stupor.
drunk and made it, and then woke up one night and was like, didn't know I could make pop-up books. My son's creepy. I don't have a son.
He's unusual. He made this pop-up book.
Yeah. I am my son. That's what it is. He's just got split personality.
Yeah, there's a pop-up book in the Historical Society, or all the Historical Societies, like
I know.
actual records pop-up books.
So this is also like, you could probably tell the story of Boogedy in all of like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But this scene takes it for so long, because it's like, Boogedy liked a girl and was horny, but the girl didn't like him, but she already had a kid, so she was probably a whore for that time. And then he basically kidnapped the son, killed the son, and killed the mom, and then died himself or something.
Okay, so
Like,
I mean,
that's it. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, that's the ghost story behind it.
yeah, okay, yeah. So he's a
Oh, and he was a jerk.
okay, so yeah,
He was just a bad guy.
So Boogedy his original name was William Hanover, and he's basically an asshole creeper who just ran around town shouting Boogedy at people.
Yeah.
Like, just everywhere. Like, he would just
He
run
was-
up to
yeah.
kids were like dancing in a circle around a tree, which apparently you do.
Well,
Like,
back then you didn't really have any free time, like anything to do.
Yeah,
They
but-
didn't have Ataris yet.
okay, if you were a child back in Pilgrim times,
Oh, I'd have a stick and hoop. You can bet on it.
stick and hoop, but would you be dancing around a tree?
Hey, if it
Like
was
in
an
a circle?
exciting tree, yeah.
Yeah. If it was an old oak tree that we're trying to like bring forth the devil, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd possess the tree.
So so he would just run up to groups of children and be like, Boogedy!
Yeah.
I'd be like, so that guy needs to go.
Yeah.
As a town. And that's the thing, all the townspeople, and this is in the flashback too, because like all the scenery is still like the pop-ups, like the trees are still
Yeah.
pop-up book, but all the people, the actors are just
Human.
Yeah, human actors, right? And there's a scene where basically everybody's like, fuck that dude, right? And Marian, I love it. I love Maid Marian. She's just like, but he trieth so hard. And they keep adding F to anything to make it seem old timey.
The only kind of funny part about it, he trieth, soweth, hardeth.
Right?
But like,
he creepeth to the
and that's
nth
like
degree.
It's the stupidest part about it too, is that like, she actually probably could have ended up with him if he just was like, okay, you know what, I have been
wasn't
a
an
jerk. Can we just like
asshole.
talk? And then instead he kidnapped the kid, and then everyone died.
But there's one extra step that you're missing that's extremely important.
Oh,
but then
he made a
also
deal
doesn't
with the
make
devil
sense,
for some
right?
reason.
So he basically was like, "Yo, Marian, marry me," right? And she was like, "No," right? So
even though she was the only one on his side.
Right.
It's like, ugh, Miriam, just like settle. You already have a kid and clearly don't have a husband. Where's your
Scarlet
scarlet
whore!
letter? Okay, great, cool. We're both on the same page.
yeah.
Get that A on there. Where is it, Miriam?
I would liketh
Yeah.
to marrieth the whore Marian.
Hester already took my letter, though. That's a deep literary reference. Just kidding. We've been talking about that book for a while.
Yeah. So when she turns him down, he immediately sells his soul to the devil, and the devil gives him a cloak.
A magic cape.
A magic cape, basically it's just a black sequin cape.
That's how Harry Potter got his cloak.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And apparently that's going to give him the powers that he needs to succeed in this venture. But instead of that,
What is his venture?
his venture is to marry Marian.
You don't... Magic
Right?
and love don't mix, people.
No.
Never does.
No.
It doesn't work out that way.
I saw Aladdin. That's one of the three wishes.
Yeah.
You can't make anybody fall in love.
One
right?
of the three wishes you can.
That's one of the 3 wish rules, you know.
There's more rules than 3.
Yeah.
thought.
No, there's 3.
Can't bring people back from the
Uh-huh.
dead. Can't make people fall in love. Can't wish for more wishes.
That's it.
Oh, thought there were more.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I remember. I
Yeah.
remember, I'm going off of Disney, I'm going off of Robin
Yeah.
Williams quotes here. Okay. So he gets the cloak, and then in the story, apparently immediately just resorts to what he didn't, he could have done while still illegal, could have just done without the need to sell his soul.
Yeah.
He doesn't use the cloak. he kidnaps Jonathan, holds him for ransom, and is like, "You're gonna marry me tonight, or you'll never see your son again." Right? And meanwhile, I'm like, this is a pretty small town.
Also, like,
why don't they just send a lynch mob to the house and be like, pitchforks and Freddy Krueger, that son of a bitch, which he winds up looking like for the rest of his eternity anyway.
Old hamburger face.
and then when she's still like, nah, he's like, all right, let me cast my first spell with this cloak, right? So I'm like, your priorities are all out of whack.
It's like he doesn't really see straight at all about anything. I think Mr. Boogedy was sexually confused.
He's got green spots in his eyes.
He thought that he wanted women, and he was like, well, the one woman I like kind of just doesn't like me, so I gotta kidnap her child and then murder her. It kind of reminds me of, God, what was that stupid movie I watched? There's a really bad plot to something where it was like, to make them like me, I'll do something bad. I don't know. I'll remember it soon.
And then when he tries to use, and this is where it like jumps back to John Astin like telling the story to the kids, and he's like, and he tried to use his cloak, and they're like, what happens? And he goes, he blew up, as if like he was actually making this whole story up, and he just like didn't have a finale. He was like, and then he died, and that was it. And then
they all died.
Yeah, and because this is a made-for-television movie, like, it kind of pauses on the kids, like, dun, 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 and then we go over commercial break, and then we're back, right? The kids are back, they know the story of Boogedy, they're trying to warn Mom and Dad, and Mom and Dad are both, like, not listening, they don't give a shit. Like, he's like, oh, I'll listen to your story in a second, but can you, like, turn on the shop vac? And who would buy a shop vac with, like, a pop-up clown that comes out of it, but that also, like, shoots styrofoam balls? I don't understand, right?
And this is the longest thing where it's like no one's laughing and he still doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, so it pops up and they're like, cool, Dad. So anyway, and he's like, wait. And he like is slowly shooting ping pong balls at everyone. And it's like it felt like a full minute of him shooting ping balls.
Everything feels like
And they're
forever.
all just like, okay, but, and then it's like another ball hits him in the face and they're like, Dad, are you listening? And you just hear, foom, foom. And it's like,
yeah. And the mom's just doing that stupid laugh. And I thought you were going to do it. Right? They pull a mummy out, like a fully mummy dummy that they have, and also like kind of monster hands. Oh, that's right, because they walked in and Carlton is dressed as a white gorilla in a Joseph and the Technicolor dream coat. And he's like, look at me,
gorilla.
I'm Boogedy! And it's like, right out the bat, you're still an asshole to your daughter, like mocking what she says she saw. Like, how about just not talk about it if you don't believe it?
Yeah.
Like, leave her alone, right?
Poor girl.
And also, like, she told you what he looks like. It was not a gorilla.
Yeah.
Bad joke. So
this is not a great follow through.
So now they've basically pulled all the props out that Mr. Boogedy will need for this next scene. Because he's like, I swear there's no such thing as ghosts or something like that, right? And then like piano starts playing, like it's at the attic in the haunted mansion.
The
like,
mummy starts dancing.
The mummy has a whole jig. Hands are clapping. Those hands, those gorilla hands he was wearing, are just floating in the midair, clapping. And then I don't know, it just stops. Like everything drops.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, that's it, we're out of here, right? And the dad, I guess because he's got like, I don't know, he's gonna lose money on the house.
Yeah, he got a great deal.
Or he's got a dream on the Gag City situation, whatever. He is trying so hard to negotiate. Like, he clearly has seen something now, right?
Yeah.
But is still in like mini denial. I don't understand what's going on with his like psyche here.
Yeah.
Right? But then he just witnessed hauntings in the living room. And his idea to them, when they're like, I don't want to spend another night here, is like, let's camp out in the living room.
Yeah.
I don't...
It's stupid.
There's... all of them make completely illogical decisions throughout this whole process. Like, I understand it's a family movie, it's a kid's movie, but, like, you still have to have a baseline of logic.
Yeah.
And nobody really does. I mean, when faced... We understand that in a horror movie, when faced with, like some sort of, evil or something like that, it's usually a situation of nobody else sees it coming except for the one person that like cries wolf, like everybody thinks they're crying wolf, right? Until the climax and shit goes down, right?
Yeah.
Or in the case of like Poltergeist, they all saw it and they're all in it because they need to go rescue the one girl that is trapped in the house. There's nothing at stake here other than we go back to our normal lives outside of Lucifer Falls. Yeah. Or get a different house that isn't lightning and thundering outside with the lightning machine. Turn that goddamn machine off!
God, it makes me so mad.
Oh, and the low-lying fog that's outside at all times?
Yeah.
Which I've never seen in any house, haunted or not. But, so now let's up the ante of asshole dad again, because now we're here and the scene switched over to they're camping out with sleeping bags in front of the fireplace. And he starts telling ghost stories?
I know. I was like, hey, so it just got spooky, but now you're trying to spook it up again? What is wrong with you? You have young children. They are not going to sleep tonight, then you're not going to sleep, and then tomorrow morning you're going to be like, oh, man, now I can't squirt this egg at you.
Right? He's ruined everything. I had 5 gags planned for tomorrow.
He blames it on the
Boogedy.
kids. Yeah.
Right? Because that's also what it seems like. And this is where I got confused, too, because... it's not as clear in this one. I know I'm jumping ahead to the sequel, but it's not clear. He mentions in the beginning, like, starting their own franchise here, right? But to me, I always thought that as a kid, at least when I watched this, I thought that Gag City was his company and he was actually creating all these gags and trying them out on his kids. Yeah. Because that's what it seems like.
It seems like he's the inventor of these things. But instead it's like, I ordered these things and look at them.
Right? Are they great?
Yeah. And then like every now and then he tries to modify one for something else.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
And there's certain scenes kind of like the Boogedy footprints of, I can sell these. As if like he is the owner of this store and just found a new product that he can market. Right? But when you really think about it, and the sequel establishes much better where it's like, no, there's a whole corporate and they're going to hire him for a district manager position and stuff. Which, pin on that one. I'm like, that never comes back in the sequel either. But you start going like, no, there's an entire like line of like chain of command that you're going to have to pitch these Boogedy footprints to. So with all that said and done, they go to sleep. He also does his catchphrase in his sleep. Just kidding. Just kidding. Right? And you're like,
if I could just murder one person, I know there's a lot of options right now with the state of our country, but I still would pick him. I'd be like, you know what, this is the best benefit. No, the dad. Like, if I had to pick one, like, fictional character to murder, it would be this dad. I'd have been like, am I kidding now? As I'm stabbing him in the gut, and he's like, oh, fuck. And
you're
I'm like,
just stabbing, just going, just kidding! Just
kidding! I would only stab him in non-vital parts, so it was as long as painful as possible.
But the knife that you found is like a trick
knife.
Oh
my God, and he's like, ha!
God damn it! And he's like, ha ha! Isn't it great?
I want to just smash his face in with a brick.
Like, still angry.
It would make me so mad.
Yeah.
I would not be able to spend more than 10 minutes with this family. 5 minutes, wouldn't be able to do it. Not
They're
at all.
The worst.
They're nightmares.
They're the worst. If I was Lucifer Falls, I would ban them from the town immediately upon arrival. So
Gene Levy was right.
He is right, and we'll get to Eugene Levy. So now the mom wakes up because she's hungry. She gets like a full plate of food that's fully prepared for her out of the fridge.
Oh, she was like, I made an extra plate at dinner just in case I got hungry for dinner number 2 at 3 a.m.
And then there's a tapping at the window. And, okay, I know you say the mom's annoying, but in this moment, I loved the mom.
Oh, okay, so there were like 2 moments in each movie where I was like, that was legitimately a good one.
Yeah.
And I think this might have been one of them.
So the mom first, like, hears tapping, and she goes, is that somebody tapping at my window pane? Right? And it goes on, though, like, this whole thing, right? So she walks out the front door, and there's Maid Marian, the ghost.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, this is another thing, guys, is that all three of the ghosts are completely different colors, and I don't know why, other
Boogedy's
than
green.
to make sure that you can tell them apart.
Right? Because we can't tell the difference between a woman, a wrinkly old man, and a child.
Right.
Like, when you die, you get a color-coordinated aura. There's 3 options. Sorry. Like, I'd be like, fuck.
They're the ones that show up on film.
Yeah.
Lightning is yellow, possibly, just depending on the scene. So, she's standing out the front door just crying, right? And she's like, hey, she goes, would you like to come in, for some coffee? And she just starts sobbing more. And I love that she goes, wait, I'm sorry, is coffee painful for you? Is that a painful trigger thing in the ghost world? And then Maid Marian goes on to describe that Boogedy has prevented her or prohibited her to enter the house, right? In which Eloise gets on like some pedestal being like, wait, what? He prevented you?
Yeah, I love that.
Right? And
Like,
then,
yeah, women's rights.
she goes, he prevented you? How dareth he? Right? And I was like, yes! Like, she needs to talk Maid Marian language.
That was a good one, yeah.
And then Maid Marian goes on to say, the magic that keepeth he there keepeth me out. And I was like, yes! We are really going hard here.
They went balls to the walls on it.
And so Eloise comes in, and I guess the next morning presents to the family being like, look, I talked to Maid Marian, down-ass chick.
Yeah.
Like,
she's pretty sweet. Doesn't have her kid, though. So,
right? So we kind of need to get her kid.
let's help her out.
Yeah. Do you think we could kind of find the kid or maybe deal with this Boogedy situation? And so, like, everybody's like, yeah, we're on board. Right? And then, so another time in which another episode in which I cannot fully establish the ground rules of what a ghost is, because this is a scene where the youngest boy is now downstairs wrestling with the child ghost, Jonathan, over the teddy bear that Jonathan stole earlier out of the rocking chair, right? And not only is he full on, like, wrestling with a ghost, right? Like, he's a physical entity, because, let's be real, both actors were on the screen at the same time, and they just drew an R around him. And then also the ghost shoots sparklers out of him while he's wrestling.
Yeah. It's like, like if you touch a ghost, it has an allergic reaction.
Yeah. But then also, as the other, the middle child comes down and he's like, what's going on? And breaks it up. He like tries to touch him and he's like, you're like electric. And I'm like, what?
You were just wrestling a 9-volt battery? Like, that's what it's like.
Yeah, but I didn't know ghosts were electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie. You can feel it. It's electric. That's what that song's about. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
But also what bothers me is that, like, we're talking about electric ghosts that died in a time when
there wasn't
no
electricity.
electric.
Yeah.
So then all the family gangs up together. The dad is holding a giant gag fly swatter.
Yeah.
They go up to the glowy room, and then they open it up, and it turns out that it's just a hanging light bulb that's green. And he's like, he tricked us. I'm like, what? So we live in a
change
world...
lights?
Oh my god. We live in a world in which he went to the hardware store, got one of those colored light bulbs, came back, installed it.
I had, when I was in like middle school, I got one of those colored light bulbs. I was like, I bet this will be cool. But it was one of those colored light bulbs that also has like gel on it to give it like a funky shape.
Ew,
and it was like
the fire, like the red flame.
But it was a blue one. I was like, what am I doing? And it had like goopy, like, it looked like a jackfruit. Do you know what a jackfruit? Yeah. It looked like a jackfruit, but a blue version, and it was a light bulb. And it had no benefit. I never plugged it into anything. I was
And it
just
also
like, it
doesn't
feels
glow
neat.
as well as like the colored glass.
Yeah.
Because it's actually
It's like, God,
goop
I'm so
on it.
stupid.
Yeah.
They definitely marketed that though to like, are you a weird kid? You'll love a light that's weird too. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, we will.
Right.
I'm gonna use it
Only
as
at Spencer's
yeah.
Gifts.
I know, basically.
Still there.
Yeah. Still selling it, gathering dust.
So now they're all down in the living room, and Boogedy appears for the first time, dressed as Emperor Palpatine. He's got a cloak over his head, and he starts shooting green lightning. That's literally maybe the only difference between him and Palpatine. They have the same face, they have the same cloak, and lightning shoots out of their fingers, but one is blue, and Boogedy's is green, right? Boogedy is zapping everything in the room to make it like earthquake, and he shocks the dad, the mom, and Jennifer all into having like they touched a Tesla coil.
Yeah.
And
Like, yeah.
right, and he's like, all right, you don't want to talk, no big deal. Like, there's no stakes. Like,
Yeah.
the dad is just so, and that's the thing is like,
Like, what if it tried to kill you?
Right?
The dad's just like, okay,
The dad has
can we
two
get
levels.
like 10 minutes?
and one of those levels is not fully appropriate for the scenes that he's acting in.
Yeah.
One is like, I'm just a cool guy, no big deal, nothing's
Whatever.
happening. The other one is like,
Just kidding.
and then there's not a third in which it's like, don't hurt my family.
Yeah. He does not care about anyone else's lives.
Right? He's just like,
Sociopath.
yo, Boogedy, this is our house, not your house, stuff like that. So, then, I don't know, the middle child, right? He grabs a fireplace shovel and
It's gonna beat Boogedy?
yeah, I guess, right? But I guess the boys are smart enough to know, being like, hey, I was wrestling a ghost earlier. I guess I could just smack the shit out of him with this shovel. And Boogedy's like, Boogedy! And zaps the shovel, and then it inflates. And
Yeah.
instead of just letting go of the shovel, the boy, like, as all dumb kids do with, like, balloons that are gonna, like, take them, like, that joke.
I thought he said something along the lines of like, I can't let go, I
Oh,
can't
he
let
did?
go.
Okay.
I don't know. It
I
could
don't
have,
know.
but yeah.
But so the dad tries to go and rescue
on a
him.
ladder.
And grabs a ladder.
It's like the ceilings are not like vaulted ceilings.
Yeah,
it's a
just
normal room.
grab him.
Just grab his foot. He's right there.
It's
don't need
all
a
just so
ladder,
that we can
yeah.
have the joke of he starts the first step in the ladder and Boogedy zaps the ladder. Boogedy!
Yeah, it's like
And
start
then he's
burping.
like,
You'll come down.
I'm climbing endlessly the same steps of a ladder, right? Like it's a stairmaster. And then I don't know what's going on with the mom and Jennifer at this point. Are they like still frozen?
I think they're like
zapped?
paralyzed.
Or are
I guess.
I don't know, but I don't know why Carlton wouldn't be too.
Yeah.
How he got out of
That was
that.
unclear.
I think they were just like not helping. Then.
Yeah. They were
But-
both scared.
But then Ari, the littlest, decides he's going to grab that shop vac, which
Now all of a sudden is a real vacuum.
is a real vacuum too?
Yeah.
So like when you buy this vacuum at the store, do you have to pay the shop vac price plus the additional like things that have been added onto it? Is it like a conversion van where it's like you buy for the price of the van $20,000 and then you like an extra 10 for all the stuff in the back?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense that now it works like a real vacuum, and they suck up Boogedy's cloak, which makes him disappear into a bunch of spots like you like looked into.
It's like you threw like eight pebbles into a pond that was super still. It looks like that, like woo, but green.
Yeah, and then that's it. Everybody's not possessed or like nothing's going on, and they're like, "All right, we did it," and they walk away. And he's like, and then out of nowhere, Carlton doubles down and is like, and right, there's no such things as ghosts. And I'm like, what the? Like, I know there's a line right after this, but immediately I was like, what are you talking about?
You just went through this. You saw a child get reunited with his mom.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. So Jonathan and Maid Marian have now turned pure white instead of pink and blue.
When you're in limbo, you're assigned a color.
It's a filing system for ghosts, just to know like what your deal is,
You're
where
like,
you're gonna go.
Limbo green is bad. Limbo yellow's adult. Limbo blue is
for
child.
when you're
Yeah.
sickly
Yeah.
and sneezing all the time. That's another weird thing. They don't really establish why he's
all
sneezy.
sneezy. Maybe they like
Or maybe
each
they
person
did.
represents a different dwarf.
I don't know, but it's also Pilgrim Times. Maybe he was just like
He
maybe
probably
that
was
the
on his
thing.
way out.
He was like, "I'm
Maybe
going to kill your son."
Maybe the
by
kid
not
died of a
giving him-
cold.
Yeah, right.
Like under Boogedy's care, and then they all thought, see, that would have been
I
a
don't know
better
how to
story.
take care of a
They-
child.
like he didn't know he was sick, and then he got back, and then the kid died.
Oh, yeah,
And
maybe.
they thought he killed him, but he's like, no, the kid was just sick. I swear, all
that's
the
why
other kids are dying
I was trying to use
too.
my cloak, and it
Yeah.
exploded. I was trying to
It's
cure.
all there.
I was trying to cure the common
Just gotta
cold.
read between the lines.
I was trying to make my quill.
What is penicillin?
That's
I wish
why
I
I'm
knew.
green now.
It's true. And I taste terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, he's like, good thing there are no such thing as ghosts. And they start to walk away, and the vacuum's like,
you want to bet? Right? And then everybody turns around like, what the fuck? Right? And then he's like, just kidding. Just kidding. And
he
then
was
turns-
covering up for Boogedy.
He was, what? Yes. Right? What is this? What is this? And then he turns around and the pop-up vacuum, which, oh, by the way, like the pop-up clown inside the vacuum is holding the cloak, and then
Oh yeah, it's like, I
and
got
then
it for you.
Carlton, is it Carlton? Am I getting it right? Grabs it and just goes boogity boo, right? And like flaps it, and then it disappears. How does he know to do that?
Lucky guess, I guess. I don't know.
And I mean, at this point,
But also, where did it go?
it just evaporated, and we'll find out where it went in the next
Oh
one.
yeah, that's true.
Right? But it just evaporates.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, our job is done here. And yeah. And then the thing says, want to bet? And then he says, just kidding. The family walks away. And then Carlton's the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carlton didn't do the cape flip. The middle son did. And then the dad pushes the family kind of like, let's go, right? And then turns around to look at the clown who just said, you want to bet? And then it winks at him. And then Carlton's like shocked as if he's never seen a ghost
I know.
before in his life.
You've been through this.
Right? And then it freezes
think
on
he's just
him.
dumb.
And that's the end of the movie.
Thank God.
But this is insanity.
Oh, it is.
How
It's a fever dream.
And I mean, to be fair, all right, so I screened this for a bunch of coworkers the other night, right? Just
yeah.
to see if it held up, if it was good enough for us to even do it as an episode, right? And everybody enjoyed themselves. We're all making fun of it the whole time, right? So I was like, yes, okay, great. And this is where I was going to say with this is, one, your rating system. What do you got?
I'm torn between a 2 and a 3.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's not great, but it's got some to
There's-
it. But it's
there's
also like
something there, right?
the quality of the movie sucks because it's so old. It's like it's old and it was an episode on TV,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
we
like it
watched
didn't even matter.
This was a
Like
VHS, like recorded copy.
you can't find it in places, so
Yeah.
it's just like I just
Apparently, there is a from Disney DVD version, like available.
Oh.
And that crystal clear, well, not crystal clear, but DVD quality at least, is rentable on YouTube.
Oh,
Right?
well, I
So
don't
if you
care.
want to get the
Yeah.
clear version. But
even
if
then,
you want
it's
this
still
like
just
kind of
bad.
VHS sketchy version, it's on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Until they find it and take it down. So if you're hearing this later on and it's not there, sorry, it's not my fault because I tried. But for me, yeah, there's a nostalgic factor. Like I watched this on this was the Wonderful World of Color, but also it then in later years got ported over to. Do you remember like late '80s, early '90s Mickey's Halloween Treat? Or Disney's Halloween Treat.
I didn't have cable till I was like 10 or 11, so like 2000s.
Okay. It was definitely on the Disney Channel, and even had a theme song. It was like Disney's Halloween Treat, like that.
Sure, I'll
right?
take your word
It sounds
for
like
it.
anything that we're playing in the park right now.
I know.
You know, like we haven't tried real hard. Let me tell
We
you.
really don't.
Like,
Halloween is like whatever. They'll show up. We know it.
right? Oh God.
Put a bat on it. Great.
It's so true. But yeah, so it was this thing, and Mickey's Halloween treat just would show like all the old Halloween cartoons that we played at Lincoln Theater. It would show Ichabod and Mr. Crane, or and Mr. Toad, like but it would only show the hell portions of the Toad one, but it would show the whole Headless Horseman episode. Not to mention like this and The Worst Witch with Tim Curry, and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And so like this definitely has a place somewhere in my heart. Like I can't denounce it fully. As soon as the credit, like the opening song came on, I even remembered the right, like everything about it. That, and like I always thought he looked like Emperor Palpatine. Like these jokes are 30 years old to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm pulling up jokes that I had as a kid. You know. So yes, there is a huge nostalgic factor, and I'm gonna do Jaws too.
Okay.
You know.
Understandable.
For anybody who this is your first episode tuning into us, probably some new Boogedy or Disney fans out there, our rating system goes from Jaws to Jaws the Revenge. So it's basically like 4 stars to 1 star if you really want to think about it. So there's that. Now, would you recommend this?
No.
No.
You've got better ways to spend 40 minutes.
Okay. I was going to say yes on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
And the reason for it is that I think that there are key pieces of Disney history that we seem to sweep under the carpet, right? That it's like, well, they're still part of history, and we should acknowledge it, even if it's bad and quirky. Like, I would love...
I mean, yeah, but it's also like, it's just like, oh, it's just boring part of history.
Yeah, no, I just mean, like, for example, I am very confused to this day why we, as a park, on Halloween, don't acknowledge, like, the Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
You know? Then again, we know a little bit of inside there, and we know that everybody's quite complacent with whatever we did 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Why change anything?
Exactly.
You know, they're still paying $115 for a ticket. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
so, but to me, where, like, 2 years ago, I know we're going on a Disney rant here, but like those who are new and listening and are tuning in for the Disney portion, like, here you go. You get a little bit of inside perspective without spoiling anything. But like, my perspective is that, like, 2 years ago, was it, that we added the parade? Was it 2 now?
Yes.
Okay, so we added a brand new parade, right? Which I thought was fairly impressive. The floats are a little tiny, but like we worked with what we had, right? And then nothing's really been added since, right?
Yeah.
So like, to me, you look at all the other offerings in Southern California. You look at Universal, Knott's, Queen Mary, all those. They're every year changing one of their mazes at least, right? And you're right about this resting on our laurels thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There are people that I helped, like I got like a cast member discounted ticket, so because they wanted to see this new parade. They wanted to see the fireworks, stuff like that, right? Then I asked him again this year. It was like, hey, do you want to do it again? It was like, no, I already saw it. We're good.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not doing anything additional. And this is where I'm like, why aren't we tapping into the Black Cauldron?
Yeah.
Why aren't we tapping into Boogedy? Even just for like a one night only, be like, do you remember this? Like, is it even worth it? Like, you know, just something, anything like that. I think that I think tapping into people's nostalgia it works well for Disney. And I don't think that they capitalize on it enough.
Not enough, but they also capitalize on the stuff that is going to catch the biggest crowd.
Sure.
So a
TV what's the latest
movie...
thing that, like, something came out of like retirement that we hadn't touched or like brought out for a long time.
What?
I can't remember what it was. Something where it was just like, oh my God, they're bringing that back to the park or something. Maybe it was a villain that I hadn't seen in a long time. I know, like, when like Hades and like that I still don't understand why the Pocahontas villain comes out.
Yeah, he's not
awful.
that scary. Yeah.
It's just like, I'm scary, right? I'm gonna steal your land.
I don't know if we added anything. I know they added this year on the parade. They added Vampirina, which is the Disney Junior
that's awful
little girl, but she's not scary. She's just a vampire.
Right. Which also, like, what is going on there?
I don't know. It's all off the rails.
Yo, you guys seen Vampirina?
Yeah, and like she's literally the last thing you see as the float is leaving.
Well, it used to be Miss Piggy, and that didn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
Why is Miss Piggy in this parade?
I would love it.
So yeah, that's my perspective on like why aren't things, and it ties back to Boogedy. Like maybe not Boogedy specifically, but I mean here we are, and I've seen a lot of people like in the past week or two reference Boogedy on other Twitter accounts and things that I follow. There's a love for this, even if we don't want to admit it. So yeah, bring it back, or find. How cool would it be if somebody was like Judge Doom?
Yeah.
Right? He has like it's a face character, but he has like the wide eyes, and maybe he has like one of his cartoon hand attachments and stuff. That'd be scary as hell, right? Or the knife eyes.
Yeah, okay.
I talk like this.
Oh. Lord.
Anyway, that's how that goes. So this is how we felt about it, but there's somebody out there that felt a different way, and we asked for those people to give us 5. These are 5-star reviews from IMDb, which is 10 on IMDb, or 5 on Amazon. You only were able to find 1 this week.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
okay.
Everything was just kind of like, I loved this at the time.
Okay. So, all right, here we go. This was written by Jurassic Park Chick 21. So you wrote this, didn't you?
No, I didn't. But this is a good one. This one's rich.
No, wait. This is for the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, never mind. That one's held for the second one. Okay?
Join us next
The first one. Okay? So when we found these reviews, mind you guys, also, if you're listening to this one, you can carry over if you have any memories of Bride of Boogedy, because we're going to that's the next episode, and we're going to be doing that as well.
Most people, though, like, no matter which episode you were on, because it's technically all, like, under rule
because
of
the reviews,
color reviews.
It's a double DVD. And
well,
that's why
on
the
IMDb,
reviews-
it's broken up between. I went to both episodes, but most people are like, I loved both of these growing up.
Sure.
Like, even
just
though you
kinda
were on
wrap 'em
different
into
ones,
one-
yeah, people usually just tied them together.
2 hour and 15 movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's right. The sequel pretty much just picks up like a week after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is written by Marie Wood 47 back in 2006, titled "These Are Too Good Movie for a Family. Kids will enjoy it, and so will the rest of the family." Once again, the title is "These Are Too Good Movie for a Family. Kids will enjoy it, and so will the rest of the family." No punctuation, pluralization where there shouldn't be.
It's my favorite thing to make you read these ones.
I hate you so much because
this guy capitalizes every other word or almost all words.
Okay. As I try to read them as I imagine that they would actually be speaking out loud. Here we go. This is a great movie, and so is Bride of Boogedy. Would love to have them on DVD. If anyone knows where I can get them, thank you, and they should put it on TV again. This is a great movie for a family to share at Halloween time. I watched with my kids when it first came out, and we still talk about it. My son was only 2 when this came out, and my daughters were 4, 6, and 10. We all watched and just loved it. I wish Disney would put it on again. I know others would enjoy it. This and the Halloween Town movies are something for the family to watch. Scary, but not too scary. They should have more movies like this for the family to share together. That wasn't too bad.
No, but it was just his, like, all over the place, like, zero punctuation. And he also really wants Disney to bring it back.
Yeah, I didn't really pause on purpose because there was no punctuation. But other than that, like, that wasn't too bad. You were just trying to torture me.
Oh, yeah, that one was all for you. Because all the rest of their views are basically the same thing. It's like, I loved this as a kid, but I haven't seen it since.
Sure. And as did I.
Yeah.
And now that I've seen it, I think I'm good for another 30 years.
Yeah.
So that just about does it for us. Like we said in the beginning, please, if you haven't bought those tickets for Death Spa and you're in the Southern California area, please join us this Thursday, October 25th, 2018, for Death Spa at the Frida Cinema. It is the full hilarious 80s horror movie. It is us doing what we do live in front of an audience with a special guest. It is a full-on Halloween costume party, and it is all for you, the fans, and the listeners out there. Because for some reason, I put you in two different categories. There's listeners, and then there's fans. So please buy those tickets. They're still available. www.thefridacinema.org/events/bombsawaylive. Also, if this is your first time listening and you really liked what you heard, there are 80 episodes now available on your favorite streaming app.
Rate, review, subscribe, 5
absolutely.
stars. Thank you.
Please, and thank you. And you can also follow us on social networking so you can find out what our next live shows are going to be. You can actually ask for us in maybe a different town. You could get the buzz going at a different town. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll go to someplace cool. Like, I was like, wait a minute, don't say Birmingham. I've been to Birmingham. It's like, I don't want to go there again.
No.
But yes, and you can follow us on all social media at Bombs Away Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Bombs Away Show. That you can also write to us with a more personalized message, contact at bombsawayshow.com. That's our email. And that just about does it for us. You got anything to add?
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Hey everyone, this is Jarrett with Bombs Away Podcast. I'm here at the Frida Cinema, once again recording for your all's pleasure. Frida Cinema, that sounds pretty familiar. Oh yeah, it's because we bring it up so much. It's where we live, it's where we record. Now, you may know of the Frida Cinema, but you may not know enough about the Frida Cinema. So the Frida Cinema is a program of the Long Beach Cinematique, and it's located in Santa Ana in Southern California. It services neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema, dedicated to educating, connecting, and enriching communities through the art of cinema, which is a pretty amazing experience. But how do they do that? Well, one of the ways they do that is with shadow casting. So shadow casting, if you don't know, is whenever they have a cast below the screen acting out the movie as the film is projected behind them, which is pretty neat. But that's not all. They also get audience participation, so you feel like you're part of the film, that you have that amazing enriching experience. Some of the films that we do shadow casts with are Little Shop of Horrors, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Repo the Genetic Opera, and The Forbidden Zone. When was the last time you heard of The Forbidden Zone? Am I right, ladies? Other things that we do, if you're not into Shadowcast, but you love that audience participation, are special events. We've done Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and it was a lights and sound spectacular, and there were also words along the bottom of the screen that helped you know when to participate in the film. And maybe you just want to watch a film, which is okay, because the Frida Cinema does show films, but maybe you want to watch a film in a different atmosphere. Well, the Frida Cinema has rooftop showings. Some of the films that have shown on our rooftop are the most recent Beauty and the Beast, or Ghostbusters, and Jurassic Park. One of the cool things that happened with Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park is we actually had guests. For instance, Jurassic Park had the guest of the Jeep Wrangler, you know, that nice tan and red Jeep that we see just driving all around that park. It's an amazing photo opportunity, and it's something you get to brag about to your friends and post on that Instagram. If you want more information about the showtimes, location, and everything film and entertainment related to the Frida Cinema, just go to www.thefridacinema.org. You can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema and on Instagram and Twitter at thefridacinema. The Frida Cinema, for the filmmakers, the film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?